Dennis Gartman, gold and yen was a brilliant two-legged trade as well. We've had a bit of a pullback. Can you stay in gold, and can you stay in gold adjusted for these currencies given new weak dollar?
You have to stay in gold. I think that there's no question about it. Yes, there's competition from Bitcoin, and I think that will disappear eventually. And perhaps it's just old age on my part, wanting to be involved in the gold market in terms of gold market in euro terms, the gold market in yen terms. I think gold gets stronger across the board for a long period of time. The monetary authorities around the world, whether it's the ECB, the Fed, the Bank of Canada, the People's Bank of China, the Russian Central Bank, they're all being, they also continue to be. So that's going to drive gold prices higher, whether it's in dollar terms, euro terms, yen terms, renminbi terms at all.
We've had a raging debate across many of the themes of Bitcoin, Mr. Gartman, and one of the themes is the Bitcoin equivalency to gold. Is it fair to equivalent Bitcoin to gold?
Not really. Gold has been around for thousands of years. Bitcoin has been around for 20 years. And Bitcoin is the millennials' gold. I understand that. I get that. I will never understand Bitcoin as far as being able to buy it at 10,000, 15,000, 20,000. I shall leave that to people who are wiser, smarter, or more courageous than am I. And I fear that once at the not too distant future, the monetary authorities, the various central banks around the world are going to refuse to give up their monopoly on monetary policy. And we'll walk in one day and Bitcoin has been rendered zero. But can it go to 100,000 before then? As John Maynard Keynes once said, the market can remain illogical longer than you or I can remain solvent. And right now, Bitcoin seems to me to be utterly illogical. Again, those who have done well in it, I wish them that they continue to do well, but it shall do so without me. I'd much rather own gold.
Well, Dennis, this raises a really interesting question, because if you believe that it does not have staying power as a store of value, especially in countries where there isn't necessarily that much confidence in the currency of the choice of the nation, do you think that the eventual devolution of Bitcoin will actually give an extra boost to gold? Or do you think that it will just sort of dissolve in terms of crypto assets that are created by central banks?
Lisa, the problem that I have is that everybody argues that Bitcoin has to go higher because there's a finite amount of it will eventually be mined. And yes, I understand that. But now there's 7,000 various cryptocurrencies out there. There's an infinite amount of finite amounts of currency. So I think that the fun, the joy, the enthusiasm over Bitcoin and the cryptos will go the way of all flesh eventually. And I think that it's a 2-decade, 3-decade, maybe even 4-decade circumstance for thousands of years. So I think perhaps I'm just an old man. Perhaps it's just a sense of history. Perhaps I shall be wrong. Perhaps Bitcoin becomes the currency of the future. If so, it shall do so without me.